Sexual relationships outside of marriage have become an acceptable characteristic of mainstream Western culture. Traditional boundaries such as those implied by marriage are viewed increasingly as unreasonably restrictive and outdated. New freedoms created by advances in contraceptive methods and the effective availability of abortion on demand are, however, balanced by unprecedented increases in family breakdown and incidences of sexually transmitted diseases. The social and health costs alone of this freedom are proving a high price to pay. In light of this, the following points may be worth considering. Firstly, sex was created by God. The Bible explains that God created men and women as separate genders, but also as interdependent beings. Men and women have complementary characteristics, for example physically and psychologically, so that when joined together in intimate relationship, they represent something of the wholeness of God in whose image they were created. Sex is an integral, wonderful part of this joining together that in Christian terms means marriage. Sex outside of the context of marriage is therefore really a distortion of God's intention for humanity. The good news of the gospel is, however, that God is willing and able to forgive people for their mistakes and to provide opportunity to make a brand new start. Secondly, what passes for normal is not necessarily right. Societies are in a continual state of change so that, for instance, what was regarded as right and proper 500 years ago, for example burning witches, would certainly not necessarily be regarded as right now. Likewise, ideas and practices that are regarded as okay today will not necessarily be regarded as such tomorrow. Some argue with justification that Western culture is in a state of decline rather than progress. In light of this, the fact that sex outside of marriage is regarded by many as normal practice now says nothing about whether or not it is right or not in an absolute sense. In fact, future generations may well condemn us for our self-indulgent short-sightedness when they have to live with the future health and social consequences of our lifestyle choices today. Thirdly, true sexual freedom is possible. In a society saturated in sexual material and imagery through the media, advertising, fashion, etc., it's difficult to imagine that such powerful stimulation can be resisted. Patterns of behaviour that communicate implicit messages such as, if you're not sleeping around, you're not normal, simply add to this pressure. When you think about it, however, true sexual freedom necessarily entails the ability to make choices. The Bible teaches that if we allow ourselves to be driven by internal impulses and external pressures, we become addicted slaves to those stimuli. Sex becomes shallow, physicality replaces genuine love and intimacy, we feel frustrated, guilty, fearful and unfulfilled. That's not how things were intended to be. The good news is that people are able to experience profound depths of relationship when they commit to living a life God's way. We certainly aren't promised freedom from inappropriate sexual temptation, but we are promised the strength to resist and live wholly fulfilled lives. In this way, God makes us genuinely free to love.